Before we dive into the landfill of weirdness this week, the website is back, baby.
You mean the glorious return of gildedtrash.com?
Exactly. The digital dumpster fire has been rebuilt and it is live. You can find all of our socials, binge our YouTube, and send us messages. Yes, even your weird uncle's ghost story. And of course, links to our merch.
Which means if you've been dying to wear our logo on your chest, like some of you have, I know, drink coffee out of one of our mugs, use one of our beer koozies, or class up your desk with a Stay Trashy sticker, now's your chance.
Yep, and the best part, no more is the site down again. It's up, it's working, and it is your one-stop shop for all things trashy.
So that is gildedtrash.com. Go check it out before the squonk cries another river.
Lanterns flicker, thunder rolls, Scott and Crystal on patrol. Back roads twist, the moon hangs low, Sasquatch tracks where the rivers flow. Mic in hand, laughs hit the air, UFOs flash without a care. Gilded trash where the wild things roam, comedy legends, we bring it
Episode
home.
2 already. 2026 is effing flying right on by. If you're in the business sector, we have already run through the first quarter and it is tax season. Matter of fact, if you're listening to this episode on the day it releases, you better have submitted that paperwork, buddy.
It's already, it's like Apollo 13 when he's like, he is most definitely out of the country.
So, what's going on this week? We didn't have a lot going on the last couple of weeks.
No. We did have stuff going on, but it was just like comedy shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we have a big one. This is the biggest reveal we have ever had. Because you don't see these so this weekend, as you know, we've judged karaoke contests in the past.
DJ Heidi.
We've done many, mostly in the Windber area.
Yep.
Now, we got one this weekend at the one and only Harrigan's downtown. Johnstown, baby. Johnstown on the map. And not only, they're giving away cash prizes. Cold, hard cash. Which is, usually there's little trinkets. You might get a trophy. You might get a little gift card.
Yeah.
But this is cold, hard cash. $100 the first place.
Yeah.
For karaoke?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. $100 first place, $50 second place, $25 third place. And guess who the judges are? Us. Yours truly.
And we will have another guest. But we might have a guest of guests in store, a local celebrity.
Yeah.
And I use that term less loosely than I usually do because they refer to us as local celebrities, which is in no way accurate. However, this person is widely known in Johnstown. Widely known. And
Person or persons.
Yes. So you got to show up though.
Yeah.
Find out what's going on. Get that cold hard cash prize. So all you singers out there, you know who I'm talking to. I see you guys out there all the time.
I'm
calling you out by name. Randy Collier, Rob Seth.
Amelia Mae McNally.
Yeah, get out there and sing. Come down to Harrigan Saturday night and sing.
Yeah.
For money.
Dion, that kid that we met up in Wimber.
Oh, yeah.
God,
any of them.
Good.
Come on out. Yeah. If you've been out before, come on out. If you've been to any of these other previous karaoke contests run by DJ Heidi, come on out, but also come out if you haven't.
Right. And she does a lot of fun twists in her competition.
These karaoke contests are so fun. It's the only thing really happening in karaoke that's different.
Right.
If you go anywhere else, it's going to be like pretty much straight karaoke, but her contests are just a different level of fun.
Right.
Karaoke.
So even if you don't sing, come on out and spectate. I haven't been in Harrigan's in probably 20 years, so I couldn't tell you how big it is, but we'll make room.
Yep.
Come on out. Oh, and Gilda Trash is going to throw in a little something for the crowd favorite.
Yeah, the crowd favorite / judge's choice.
Well, no, not really necessarily judge's choice, but normally there's somebody, every one of these competitions, there is somebody who may not necessarily be the best voice, but boy, do they get the crowd working.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're going to choose who does that.
Yeah.
Who gets the best crowd response.
Yep. And that's actually a lead into our main topic today, which is music. However, there was something else. I like to shake it up. It's going to be a long discussion about music. We got so much to talk about. But what is trending in socials this week? And I love to talk about this all the time because I live half my life on socials. So, you guys have heard of OnlyFans. I'm not going to go there. I don't kink shame. I don't care. I don't want to know. But some genius on social media decided to create a non-official, and it's not a parody, it's a non-official Yellowstone Park account. And it got up to a couple million followers on TikTok. And there was innuendo in the post, but it was drawing attention to national parks.
But it's called Only Parks.
Only Parks, right?
That's the key.
That's the trend. So look up the hashtag Only Parks. I don't know if it's made it to the other social medias, but now there's beef. These parks are I can never say that word.
Anthropomorphized.
Yeah, those things. So they all have personalities now, and there's camps and sides. But at the end of the day, it's the one thing that's kind of bringing socials together right now in a fun way because everybody's having fun with it.
Only Parks. Who's my favorite park?
Is
it only national parks?
It is. It's national parks, but that's what I did a joke. I did a parody post the other day, and I was like, I'm waiting for the RV parks to enter the chat, saying "Hold my beer," Pabst Blue Ribbon specifically.
I was thinking the Johnstown City Park in downtown in renovation.
No, but there were some surprising. So Ohio Pal has entered the chat. So they're getting local, like that Cuyahoga Falls.
Cuyahoga Falls.
Yeah, Buttermilk Falls. Like some of those ones have entered the chat. So it's getting interesting. I thought it would die down after a day or two. It's actually ramping up because now every day there's an account that pops up and it's like bigger accounts. They got 20,000 up to 1 million followers and it's all just these national parks and it's bringing awareness too. Like there's parks that I didn't know I wanted to visit until this phenomenon.
Sure. Well, that's the thing about any of these sort of trends is you get to learn stuff like that.
Right. So anyways, if you're on socials, look up Only Parks. It's fun, funny. It's something that's endearing. It's like a relief from political crap and all the bad, all the first world problems and the third, whatever. It's fun. It's entertaining and it's lighthearted and it's all in good fun.
Go check out Only Parks.
Yeah. So,
do they have actual subscriptions? Do you pay
No.
They should do that to raise money for the park because isn't the parks that's how they should make money?
Right, they're underfunded right now. It did become political for a minute because of the funding.
You could even do one. You could do a naked one where you had naked people in parks and charge real money, like only fans, only parks.
Yeah.
And it would be people in parks. You could make money. You could make money off.
Well, that's kind of why it blew up is because they were using really good looking guys in the posts. Some of them were just showing mountainous structures with phallic symbolism behind it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they were fun and funny. They're entertaining. And I don't think a kid's going to get it. It's just like in the Disney films, you know, like where there's innuendo, but as a child, you shouldn't really understand.
There's a peak out in Wisconsin in the Badlands. They call it Penny's Peak.
No, they don't. Stop it. You're lying. That is an inside joke, but if you've been to one of his comedy shows, you know what he's saying. All right.
Yeah, they call it Penny's Peak because of the way the opening is.
Or we could talk
There's
about
one mound, one little mound. They call that Penny's Peak.
what's that one that you in out in Franklin County? You call it the butt crack or something.
Oh, the butt crack of the gap. That's
Yeah.
just the way the mountains come together. It looks like a butt crack when you look at it in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, that's always fun.
The butt crack of the gap.
All right, so let's talk about the main meat and potatoes of this episode.
Yeah, we were talking about karaoke that made us do music as a life language is the title of this episode.
So I'll tell you why my AI assistant kind of called it out as a language. We had talked about doing another music episode. We've done one historically. We're going to try to hit on different topics this time, but music is essentially our life, right? But I was, as usual, scrolling through socials, and I saw a post, and it was an Appalachian gravesinger. And so think of the song like,
sing on graves.
yeah. So think about the song like I'm a Man of Constant Sorrow, how they pull that like wail into it from your gut that made, you know what I mean?
They
Like
dance on a grave with sadness.
they don't even dance. They stand there.
Well, I think it'd be fun if they added dancing. Maybe
Jesco.
Jesco White doing a little, I'd call it the death dance. Play a little.
It was so beautiful though, and it was so enchanting and so haunting and so emotional. And I clicked into the comments to see. I always am interested to see what people say. So in the comments, somebody said, it's posts like these that wash away, politics and real life problems when you hear something like this and it's just its own language. And I was like, for real, like when you think church music or spiritual music, it doesn't have to be particular to one sect. When it happens, it's emotional.
Well, it's because humans music connects to us somewhere that we're not, like on some deep level as humans. So it can lead to profound experiences because it taps into this other thing, which is why I think it happens with, church and stuff.
It is. It's
because
the
people
language.
get enraptured with this, the music, the soul of the music.
So Albert Einstein had a love theory. And I didn't go deep dive into it, but the gist of it was that he wrote a letter to his daughter, and he said in the letter, and I'm greatly paraphrasing, that the one force that hasn't been able to be quantified is love. And the closest thing that I think you can get to that in expressing that is through music. Like it is the language of emotion, right?
He also,
yeah. I love it. I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, no, I forgot what I was going to say there. No, I totally forgot because I thought you were going to cry. Yeah, no, I mean, well, it just goes to show you that even like somebody like that thinks of the world in very,
like,
I don't know what the word
like
is. Like
scientific.
very cut and dry terms. I guess, I don't know though. Albert Einstein was a great theory. He was one of the scientists that could think beyond the realms of science. So I will not say that he's like other scientists because most other scientists aren't able to do that.
Right.
But yeah, no, he's fascinating things on life. I mean, he's got a lot of perspectives.
Right. I was just that reading that was like really profound for me because I never to me, Einstein has always been a character, right? Like he's always been like,
right. People don't think of him as a human because he's so characterized.
Right. And as somebody who is, who thinks systemically and in patterns and sees deeply into those types of things, I think it's hard for some people to see the human side of me sometimes. I've been blamed to be a narcissistic or cold or callous by certain people. And so to be able to, and I know why it is. It's because of how I think. And it's hard for me to communicate to people who don't think the same way I do.
Mm-hmm.
So in that aspect, it was really cool to see him as human, but then it all kind of clicked together in like 2 posts back to back, which were those 2 posts, the Appalachian gravesinger and then the Einstein like letter to his daughter about love. I was like, shit, music is a language.
Well,
and
it also is because we talked about this. This is sort of what led to it too, is that with all the different, the world is so split in so many ways.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it always is. People are
Right.
always fighting.
Right.
It is what it is. I'm not saying that it's worse now. That it just feels worse because
Because we're aware.
Well,
we're
yeah.
in it and we're aware.
Right, exactly.
The last worst thing felt like the worst thing to be.
But if you talk to people, but if you go to a concert, let's just say you go to see I never feel like they came to my Little River Band.
LRB? LRB.
No, but let's just say you go see Little River Band. Everybody, that's a terrible example. But
Who the fuck is... No,
let's just say you go to see the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Biggest band in the world of all time.
Right.
You know what I mean? We could get into arguing.
Right. Statistics.
Top 5 grossing, critically, whatever, one of the biggest bands in the world
Live
of all time.
Performing. Yeah.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
And they have been for 5-6 decades.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you go to a Rolling Stones concert, it's like any other group of people. You're going to have people that think one way, people that think another, but they're not there to think about that.
No.
They're not there to talk about that. They're just there to bond over their love of this commonality.
Right.
Which is the songs, the music, you know what I mean?
Right.
The experience.
The music, the lyrics, the experience, whatever it may be.
Right. So it cuts across political divides.
It does.
It cuts across language barriers.
Yeah.
Not all music is able to be understood in the same way, but some music does. Evidenced by the fact that the popularity of, in particularly, Western music throughout the rest of the world is huge.
Oh, gosh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that those places don't all have their own things and stuff, but I'm just saying that just shows you how it's a global language.
Well, how much did we crack up at how many English or like originating bands or artists can sing American country style music? And it's perfect. The accent is it's fantastic.
Except for one. Yeah. Keith Urban.
Oh, Keith Urban. He sucks. Fuck Keith Urban.
But I'm just saying.
Oh, speaking of which, that was a tidbit this week that I learned. Nicole Kidman is dating Simon Baker.
Ooh, Patrick James.
Yeah, and they're coming out. They're coming out with a new show or movie or something. They were filming together, which is how they kind of got together.
It's called The Mentalist.
No, it is not. Oh my God. I wish they would resurrect The Mentalist so bad. That was
Just a mood. Give us like a Psych or Monk movie.
Right. Like just
The
one.
Mentalist, where they'll finally get the real Red John.
Right. It wasn't the asshole that they shot.
That they shoved into the episode at the end to make it work.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that today.
Anyways, we're talking about music. But so what were we just talking about?
We were talking about Keith Urban. We're talking about being a global language.
Oh, yeah, global language.
Transcending boundaries.
But how many European artists can lean into that country twang and pull it off so well?
You don't even have to look that far. Look at how many country artists don't have an accent when they talk.
Right.
I'm going to give you one that'll blow your mind. Kenny Chesney. When
Oh,
Kenny Chesney talks, he sounds like a regular dude.
well, isn't he like from just like Virginia? He's from
the South,
or
and
like
I'm not
no,
saying
I don't
that
think he is. I think he might be from like Indiana or something.
well, maybe, but Indiana is the South when you get down to the part of
Well,
back
that's
Kentucky.
true.
So that's like a different story. But regardless, it may be the Midwest, but I'm just saying he sings with the country. Like he has like, not a thick one, but I'm just saying like a lot of people, it's weird how accents and music work.
Right, absolutely. I can't think of that other band though. There was that band that did the blues. No, he is literally from Tennessee.
Or how about, I thought he was from the South.
I didn't think he was.
How about but look at people from Tennessee though. Nate Bargatze, he's Southern.
Yeah.
And you do hear it with certain words, but for the most part, he doesn't talk like a Southerner.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, I feel like if he was singing a country song, he'd put a little stank on it.
I want to hear him sing now.
No,
his
I don't
voice
think he
is
did.
so weird. I don't know how it would sound.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things. It's just so weird how, or like those guys. How about the dudes from Sweden that I showed you that did like
Oh yeah,
Negro spirituals. That's all they said. It's just a
like
group of Scandinavian, white as white can be,
milk toast.
But for some reason in the 70s, they became obsessed with like early African American folk music, Negro spirituals.
You can't say that without me thinking of Medea's Witness.
I know. No, I know. But it's fun. But no, but so they released out like people in Scandinavia, they were loving it.
Right. Meanwhile, they look like Peter, Paul, and Mary on the damn cover.
It looks like ABBA.
It's so ridiculous.
Imagine if ABBA sang nothing but Negro spirituals.
Oh my gosh. We talked about this the last time, but I have to just pull it back in again because music history always is part of the conversation. But one of my coworkers listens to like a Spanish hybrid type music, and we talked about on the last music episode, Narco Corridos, which was a way, so it brings about music and storytelling.
Well, corridos in general.
Right.
That's traditional Mexican folk music that tells like a tale. Just like country western music. It influences heavily that the Southwest, between like country and western swing and like Bakersfield sound, a lot of that has such, people don't realize it ties in the Southwest history with Mexico is such a strong tie because it's one region,
right?
It's two countries,
right?
And so the culture and the language and the music has a lot in common. That's why you hear accordions, which is also interesting because it was German settlers that introduced the accordion to Mexico.
Which is fantastic.
People don't think about that. People think about like immigration stuff, but these people were going all over the place.
Right. They weren't just selling here in the United
America,
States.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was all over. So then that influence builds up and that's how you get. But then what's interesting about that is, so they introduced the accordion. Then the accordion comes back years later into country music through the Mexican side.
Right.
So now it's gone by way of Germany to Mexico.
Right.
To Bakersfield.
Right. And
to Dwayne Yoakam.
And me being from Western Pennsylvania grew up listening to accordion because we had polka.
Well, and that's exactly right. People don't realize that's why, though, because of both of the Eastern European influence of the accordion coming to those two areas.
Right. Yeah. Like,
it's fascinating. It's amazing how music does. It transcends time, language, humanity, like all of those things. And it's like, it reminds me of in the Shawshank Redemption, Andy Dufresne breaks into the office and locks the door behind him of the warden.
Right.
And all the guys are outside in the yard and he puts on this opera album and plays it for the whole yard. And Morgan Freeman says in there, he says something about, because they hadn't heard music. And Morgan Freeman says, to this day, I have no idea what that old Italian lady was singing about. but it was the most beautiful thing I ever heard.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
because it's like, it captures this thing. It just taps into a piece of you that you can't really explain. And that kind of brings us to where, like, even when we first met.
Yes.
I mean, we talked and stuff, obviously, but.
Well, so we officially met at karaoke.
Right, 100%. But I don't think that the music was, I mean, it was just because we liked karaoke and that was but when one of the first like times that we were spending together outside of like getting together, was we were sitting in, and my uncle, who now just passed away, this week, I was house sitting for him at the time. And we just sat in his den on the computer and YouTube for what felt like
3 straight days.
Well, no, but I'm saying like first clip was probably like 8 hours and trading songs back and forth as a way, not doing some talking, but as a way to communicate and introduce and say, this is who I am.
Yeah.
These are the songs that I value. This is what represents me as a person. And you learn through that.
Yeah.
It is like, again, a language.
And we did talk about the first time we ever heard it, why it was important to us, why we love that genre. So we learned more about each other in a day or two of exchanging music than I think we could have learned on 17 dates together.
And the fun story, I introduced her to a song for the American Gangster soundtrack. Anthony Hamilton, Do You Feel Me? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Do You Feel Me?
It's been a while since I listened to it, so I almost forgot there. But it sounds very much like an old 70s soul song. And I introduced that to you, and you said...
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, quick break from the chaos because we need you, yes, you, to send us your weird.
Your cryptid sightings, your UFO encounters, your I swear this house is haunted moments, we want them all.
And don't just yell them into the void. Go to gildatrash.com, click the contact link, and tell us everything.
This is your chance to make us pack up a car, drive 6 hours to the town that you live in or grew up in, and wander around in the dark while I question my life choices.
True story. If you've got a squonk in your backyard, a ghost in your attic, or just saw something in the woods that you can't explain.
We'll bring the cameras, the coffee, the bug spray, all of it.
The jerky.
The jerky.
Exactly, but we can't come to you if we don't know about it. I said, if we ever get married, this will be our wedding song.
And it was.
It was. But we'll get to that. We're going to talk about the soundtrack of our life here in a little bit. But I want to start out by introducing each of us, like how we came into music, right? Because we have 2 very different kind of introductions to music, and very specifically.
Right.
So for me, I grew up I was born in 75. So my parents always had an old console stereo, the big thing that looked like I don't even know what they're called. Like,
they're called console stereos because my dad collects them.
Yeah.
You've seen all his different videos. And my pap, everybody had those back in the day.
And so
it was a big deal.
My dad grew up as a music lover, and my mom grew up as a music lover. And so when they came together, they had quite the collection of albums together. Hundreds. And I don't know what happened to them over the years. My dad bitches about it because some of them got lost in moves. But some of them would have been worth money, which is sad. But anyways, long story short.
Maybe you'd be surprised how much records aren't worth.
Yeah, I mean, that's true as well.
I mean.
But so... growing up, my dad was like 2 people, literally 2 people. He was a violent, drunken, holy terror sometimes. But if you heard the music turn on when he got home, you knew
It was party time.
it was party time. You
You
were
were
allowed to get out of
pizzas.
bed. You were getting
He was
pizza.
bringing home hoagies,
Yeah.
treats,
All of it.
candies.
All of it.
He spent all his money at the bar. He didn't have a dime left to his name.
But what he brought home was joy. And those were the good times. And my dad's a weird character. He's everybody, you either love him or hate him.
I think most people both.
Yeah. He's a
I
weird
think
guy.
you love and hate him.
Yeah. Because if he flips the switch, you don't know what to expect and he's hard to contain.
To be fair, he was much more volatile
Younger.
younger. Now that he's an old man, not that he doesn't pop off and get weird every now and then.
Yeah, he does. He
But
has no emotional regulation.
It's so small compared to even in the time frame that you and I have been together.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure.
100%.
He's definitely calmed down. But back in the day when he was still like literally two different people.
Bipolar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bipolar.
Well, he's
before
actually
it was-
diagnosed with multiple personality disorder. I don't know if some of the personalities wedge themselves into a hole.
I think back then they were misdiagnosing that as that, though. But
Yeah.
I think what he does is go into manic stages on both sides.
Yeah, for sure. When
And
he's
he is
happy.
manic and paranoid, and I
For
think he
sure.
has it all. It all
Yeah,
goes together.
it definitely, and that comes from his upbringing. And someday I'll write about that. It's not really mine to tell right now, I guess. But when he was on, oh my God, like my dad has a baritone voice, and he is a beautiful singer, and it was just like the whole house came awake. Everybody was
Right.
dancing. My mom was relieved, which was not a lot around him, you know.
Right.
So our good times were always around music. Like that defined.
Well, right, because it's the only time you think about when you're in that sort of situation where it's hellacious
Right.
most of the time.
Right. You don't know what you're going to get.
Right. And you're that on edge. And then you immediately start to see the things that kick to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Which this case being music.
Yeah.
Then you're like,
Yeah.
oh. So of course it's almost like, what's that movie where there's a drunk mom?
Oh, Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. Yeah.
It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like,
That's why that music or that movie hits me to the core, because that was my dad essentially. So, but the thing of it was, like, when I say he's a weird character, my dad had been to Camp Hill in the 60s. He was very young. Prison, yeah, for our international.
He wasn't just visiting the coffee
he
shop.
was when he was in 16, he was in Gen Pop with adults, and back then it was very racially divided. So
Back then,
I mean, maybe even now, I don't know.
oh, absolutely, it's more so now.
Okay,
Prisons have gotten just
Right.
worse when it comes to race. That's the only place that everything is drawn by racial lines.
is prisons.
You have to.
Yeah,
You can't not be a part of it, because if you're not, then you're subject to the wrath of everyone.
right. Yeah,
You just sort of have to fall in line. And even back then, I'm saying,
yeah,
it was less back then because there was less prisoners and there was less diversity in the criminal population.
right.
Now you got all kinds of people. Now now you just don't have one Mexican gang. Now
Right.
you got 10.
Right,
You don't just have one black gang, you got 10.
right,
You don't just have one white gang, you got 3.
right.
No,
Right,
seriously.
no, I know.
I mean, it's
I
not the white people gang selection. They do not have.
Oh God.
The white guy gang selection is much less. And that's the one thing, we don't have access. It's kind of, it's just,
That's hilarious.
one thing we haven't taken over. I know I'm going to write it down because that's a hilarious joke.
That is a hilarious joke.
But that's why you do podcasts, because that's how you write material right there. Like that is just perfect example. That's a Shane Gillis type story. In the sense, he's the one that taught me, dude, you should do a podcast even if no one listens, just to get material.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because you discuss things and you just telling stories and stuff and then you come across a gem like that.
Right.
Where you never thought about it that before, and then it's next thing you know, it's part of your act. And that's hilarious to think that white guys Like, that's the one thing.
And you have a solid prison set already.
Yeah, I already talk about stuff like that. So it's just something fun to throw in there about how there's the selection of white gangs is terrible.
That's insane.
You don't even, and if it doesn't, here's the thing: there's no fun white gangs. Like, not every black gang is about hating white people.
Right.
But every white gang is about hating everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no just like sort of happy-go-lucky, let's just fight with the Bloods white gang. Like, do you know what I mean?
Right.
We need to get back to the good times. These white spanky in the gang. We need to go back to some kind of good white gangs and not just white hate. That's my diversity speech for this.
Oh my God.
But that is a fantastic premise.
Tell
me it's not.
Oh my God, I love it.
Like, there isn't, though. There's no non-white hate. But back to you.
So that, in saying that, you would, to hear him talk sometimes, you would think that he's so racist, but he's not. Like, my dad just takes every person as they come. He hates all people in groups.
Which I think is what all people do.
My dad hates all people in groups.
Yeah, I hate all people in groups.
Right, any group.
I hate people.
But the reason why I'm saying that, or even bringing it up, is because his absolute hands down favorite singers of all time, two of them. One is Mary Wells, and if my dad could have married Mary Wells, he would have.
Well, your dad, let's preface this by saying your dad loves, like, soul music.
Soul music.
And
doo-wop.
He, like, early soul music.
Yeah.
He's a purist. If it's like anything past 1963, he probably won't like it.
Right.
Because he's a purist of soul music. So he likes, you say Marvin Gaye? Only like pre-1970.
Right.
When he was still with Motown.
Right.
Your dad likes like Motown style.
Yes.
So he's a purist when it comes to that.
Sam Cooke is his ultimate, hands down, all-time favorite, and we'll talk about Sam later. So like that's the music that I was being introduced to from my dad was Motown. So I grew up just absolutely pining for soul music because it meant two things. One, I was feeling something. And two, my dad was in a good mood. I mean, that's the
right. Well, now
line.
you've not only attached, so now you not only like the music, but now you've attached it to a dopamine response in your body.
Right.
And serotonin. So like you've now attached a chemical response in your body to these songs.
Yes. And I think you've probably noticed it. Like sometimes when I'm in my feels, I'll lean towards that music when we're out riding around. You know what kind of mood I'm in by that. When I'm doing the Motown playlist, I'm feeling nostalgic for when I grew up, which is a weird thing to say because as much as I had
in Motown.
Well, I didn't grow up like as much
in the
as
era of Motown.
No, I didn't. And I also didn't have like, for as fucked up as my childhood kind of was, it was also, there was so much good there too.
Right.
That like, I pine for those parts, right?
Oh, sure, of course, it's nostalgia. Nothing tastes better than nostalgia.
Yeah, it does. And like the endearing part of it was, and then we'll talk about how you got into music. But the endearing part for me was that my dad was like a local celebrity, non-celebrity on the radio. So WCRO had a contest that you could call in, and it was music trivia.
When you said that, it sounds like you're talking in the same way. It sounds like you're talking about it, and I understand what you mean. In the same way that people talk about the old whatever station the Grand Ole Opry was on.
Yeah, yes, that was our version.
And it's interesting to hear that because you don't, obviously now you don't hear that because radio's, I mean, not that it's not a thing, but it's not the same thing.
Right.
So at that point, it's the only thing.
Right.
Or you get what I mean. Like back when they referred to it as those stations.
Yeah, like you knew the call signs.
There was only 3 TV stations at the time. And you also knew the call stations of the radio because everybody got like they would, even back then, smaller radio stations would broadcast national, like the Grand Ole Opry.
Right.
Not every night, but like Saturday night or something, you could listen to the Grand Ole Opry and it would say live from whatever the station was in Nashville, brought to you on
That is exactly how I fell in love with, and I did fall in love with Wolfman Jack, because WCRO would have the Wolfman Jack show on. I think it was Saturday nights, I don't remember. And he would DJ nationally, but we would listen to him on that station. But anyway, so quickly, my dad was banned eventually from calling in. They would have trivia, and my dad, I don't know if he still does because he's in his 70s, but back then, to your point about being a purist, he knew every fact about he must have read every album cover front to back, knew who the who wrote songs, all of it. Like, he absorbed it.
Well, I think this is a perfect transition then to tell my music backstory, because my mom also got banned from playing radio stations, but because she married the DJ, not because she was winning a lot though. Because I'll say this, the statute of limitations is way past. She wasn't cheating, but she would get like inside information in the sense of, we're going to do it at 2, 5.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because back then they would do different things. So, like, that's not really inside information, but you get the idea. And so Mom would try, and there was a couple times, Mom would win contests when they were just, like, dating. Mom would we always listened to Norm on the radio. So, but my stepdad was a radio DJ. Now, let me first off say, though, that my mom and my dad both had musical influences on me. But I wouldn't think of them as, like, musical lovers.
Right. I would agree with that.
Like, do they listen? And my mom doesn't listen to, like, any secular music now.
Right.
But when we were younger, she would listen to, like, old country. We had, like, a best of the 60s tape that we'd listen to.
Easy listening.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it had
Crimson and Clover.
Beach Boys and stuff on it. And, yakety yak the whole time. Very wholesome. But so my mom and dad divorced when I was 7. So she started dating Norm when I was like 8 or 9. They got married 9, 10, something like that. And Norm was a radio DJ. And he worked all over he worked in Greencastle, Winchester, Frederick. But for the large majority of it, he was working in Frederick. Now, he also did side DJing. So he did weddings, parties, bar mitzvahs. I don't think he did any bar mitzvahs.
Stop it.
But he would have if they would paid him. Absolutely. I mean, there just wasn't any Jews in Waynesboro. So.
Right, exactly.
Or wherever, Greencastle. But he had... Now, part of this was because he was a DJ, like a regular DJ, like you think of going out. Back then, it was all hard copies. So he had it was right in the perfect era. He had a rack of records, a rack of cassette tapes, and a rack of CDs.
Yes.
And when I say a rack, I'm talking upwards of 20,000 plus.
Oh, yeah.
Like records, albums, whatever. And some of the record, thousands of 45s. And like older records, and then and you would think, and most of it, like we talked about money, but most of it's not valuable. It's kind of like books, unless you have like the first print. It's not a lot of that stuff's not really valuable unless there's some rarity to it, which there's surprisingly a lot of these records out there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because they've been made since then, like. They were multiple runs, just like a book print. You know what I mean? So people have later that those aren't really
right.
You have a fourth print of like an original Beatles album. It might be $25.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like some lucrative. Did he probably have some rare ones in there? I'm sure, but my mom had a fire and most of those were destroyed.
Right.
But I had access to absolutely anything that I wanted to listen to. Because not only did he have this huge record collection, but then on top of that, he was always up to date with the new, because he was the music, well, I don't know what you call that, the head music guy. Yeah, the music programmer for the station. So he would constantly receive promotional
Stuff before
stuff
it came
before
out.
it came out, like all the new music, anything we were on the cusp of new music.
Right.
And so it was an adult contemporary station, but they'd have rap songs. I would have all the latest rap stuff because he just got everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? He just got it all. And, so anything that I wanted to listen to, I could listen to. If I heard a mention of it, I could listen to it. If I heard something on MTV, I could listen to it. We had it and had access to it. So, and in particular later, like when I got into sort of being like a nerd about it and really got into music, then I could explore. And that's how I got into soul music, was through exploration. Well, because I was really into Cat Stevens, and Cat Stevens covered Another Saturday Night by Sam Cooke. And me being the music nerd that I was like, this is not his song.
Right.
So who is this? And then I listened to it and I was like, oh, I like that better.
Oh, yeah. Another Saturday Night.
Than the Cat Stevens version. And so that's how but then I was like, who's this Sam Cooke? I remember picking up the album, and it was a record. Mm-hmm. And inside the record, it had quotes about people, quotes about Sam Cooke by other people. And
wow.
Like, it was like Muhammad Ali was like the greatest ever. And then Rod Stewart was like the voice of, something about if he could have anybody's voice, it'd be his.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and stuff like that. And Rod Stewart covered a lot of Sam Cooke stuff because that was his favorite singer. But just different, you know what I mean? Because Sam Cooke obviously tragically died, when he was young. So, he obviously wasn't going to be around making new music. So everybody was like reflecting on it. But that's how I found that. But yeah, so I used to do at first I'd make tapes for people, and then I would burn CDs later because I had all of the access and the equipment.
Right.
Like in his setup was 2 record players, 2 cassettes, 2 CD, and you could record right to tape from either or any mixture of.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun. But
I was stuck recording from the radio to my boombox.
I used to do that too, though. I used to call in and request songs.
Mm-hmm.
One time I called into Mix 95.1 and I requested Fields of Gold by Sting. Who the fuck knows why? I was in 7th grade. I remember the night because I used to do this all the time. I was in 7th grade and I called it and she's like, what do you want to hear that for? And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, you just want to hear it? She said, is there somebody you want to hear that for or something like to that effect? And I was like, no. She's like, you just want to hear it for your own bad self, huh? And I remember her saying that. Exactly.
I love radio DJs so much back in the day.
But it was just funny because she probably is like, who the fuck is this kid?
This little kid.
Because obviously I'm in 7th grade. You can tell I'm a kid.
Right.
Calling in.
That's hilarious.
Fields of Gold by Sting.
So, like, I'm sure, I don't know if it's still conveyed because I would have been like 15 in the mid 80s, right? And I know that they still did this later, but once MTV became prevalent, you guys probably weren't paying as much attention to radio. But like in high school, the big thing was to get a request on the Love Line. So like yeah. And so like when my very, very first boyfriend ever, shout out AJ Hamera, because he's actually still in music. He plays, so the band that J.R. McAfee is going to be singing with, I think AJ actually plays with them.
Wow.
But, and I can't remember if he plays bass or guitar, regardless. So I think we might have been in 7th grade or like going from 7th grade to 8th grade, but it was my first boyfriend ever. And he played, I can't even remember. He played Lita Ford and Ozzy Osbourne maybe on his own guitar in his bedroom for my birthday. His mom made dinner because I think his birthday.
I mean, obviously, what was the dinner?
I don't remember.
Oh my God.
I was a teenager and food.
Do you think if I was telling this story, I would know exactly what they had for dinner?
But then he called in another song on the love request line for me. So it was awesome.
Well, the thing that I was just talking about, that line, it was 7 to 9 every night. And it was basically what you're talking about. And that's why she was like, people wouldn't always do. Sometimes it was just.
Right. It didn't have to be somebody you loved. It could be for anybody or just rando.
But some people would do like I did.
Yeah. And
just call in a song. But like, yeah, I knew exactly what you mean, because that was the thing, because I knew kids that would do it, like for the girl that they were trying to.
Yeah.
Play I'll Make Love to You.
Oh, God.
Boys to Men.
I couldn't
Because for me, it was the early 90s.
Listen, I was on the Love Line once or twice. I'm just saying. I was popular when I was in high school. But that aside, so the funniest thing that ever happened, though, when I was trying to record music was, so I recorded, like I said, onto my boombox. One day, me and my girlfriend, Susie, were sitting in her room, and I forgot that we were listening to a playback of the countdown from the night before. And it was at the same time that the countdown was on, right? So we're listening to the playback of the countdown. I'm an airhead. You know I'm a fucking airhead, right?
First off, I just want to interrupt one thing. Countdowns? How great were they?
Oh, my God.
Okay, we'll come back to that, but I wanted to say that. But go back.
Love a good countdown. So I'm listening to the countdown. We wanted to hear, I am pretty sure we were listening for Guns N' Roses' Patience. That's what we were waiting to hear in the countdown. So we're listening. She's sitting on her fucking roof smoking a cigarette. Don't tell her dad. And the DJ comes on and he's like, 10th caller gets tickets to whatever. I was like, shit, I'm calling. Call in. I get through. I was like, am I the 10th caller? He's like, for what? I was like, didn't you just announce that there was a contest? He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, so I didn't win anything? He's like,
Shaq Fu.
It was such a Shaq Fu. I thought I won.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I was
That's rough. Well, I want to come back to countdowns though, because and I want to come back to another thing here, because I knew this would happen though, because I want to talk about MTV, because we lived no other generation or group of people will have ever gone through that era.
The birth of MTV.
And the death.
And the
birth and death of MTV.
Yes.
Like, we lived the whole entire lifespan in our lifespan of MTV. We saw it.
It lived as long as the dog that we got when we were children.
And then I also want to talk about the countdowns on the radio, like how, even when Sirius does it. We have Sirius, because we like Sirius. I love a good countdown. And not only that, but like a good countdown in like the middle of the night on like a Sunday night when you're driving home somewhere and it's like Rowdy Yates or something. But no, you know what I mean? Though?
My favorite, the countdown that I looked forward to absolutely every year was either the Memorial Day or the 4th of July countdowns, because they were national programs. It was, back then, there wasn't as wide of a compendium of music, so you could fit a lot more.
Right, there's less music to put in the top 500.
Right, exactly. So it spanned, and you got some rock, some pop, some hip-hop-ish that wasn't prevalent in the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. But you still got it, because like Walk This Way would be on there. So like I loved the Firecracker 400 countdown. Oh my God, I miss those.
But yeah, there's something to be said for the radio, like in the middle of the night, driving somewhere you never been or back from somewhere you never been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get into like that.
But talking about MTV, how mad did you used to get when MTV did their countdowns and the number one song was something fucking stupid that you were so tired of hearing?
Well, listen. So I don't know if you lived through the summer of Jeremy and November Rain. But
I did, actually.
They battled back and forth for number one. Well, for November Rain was number one for like 8 months. It was months. I don't think it was 8, but
it felt like it.
It was an entire like season and a half of November Rain was the number one song. And then like it finally got dethroned I think by Jeremy.
Oh my, fucking
And-
Jeremy.
Yeah, and those are great songs.
They are great songs.
And I love November Rain.
But I don't want to hear them at exactly 8 o'clock every single night for the rest of my
It
life.
was worse than that, though. Not only were they number one in the countdown, but they played them 8 because they were number one.
They played them all day.
All day. Well, that was the thing, too, is let's go back to that. Back in the day, people have no idea, kids today, the advent of music television, where it was just music videos all day long. There was no music videos before that.
Right.
And so people started making music videos, which was another expression.
It was a new art form.
Yeah, it was a new art form. So the artist not only had to have a good song, but you had to have like a cool video too.
Right. You had to have a good producer, a good visual artist, a good creative
And
artist.
even if like we don't think about that, and people think about we just think about like Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Right.
That's a stripped down song and a stripped down video. But look at the nuance that goes into the video to show whatever it is, they capture it.
Right.
Like they get the vibe.
Or like, what was that? Oh, Wanted Dead or Alive. That music video, because you could, even if you've never been to a concert at that point, you were at that concert. Like you felt like that when he says, and I'll rock them all, and all the people were standing outside trying to get in. I'm pretty sure that was the Cambria County War Memorial, that scene.
Right.
And so it was
I mean, I believe it.
yeah, it was crazy. And yeah, fucking when Johnstown would bring Guns N' Roses was here, like big artists of the 80s
Which
were
is so
here.
hard to believe.
Right.
You think about that.
Right.
Think about that. I would have loved to have lived through that. To be able to imagine if you lived 5 minutes from where you could go see, and not in a big city. Like it's one thing if you live in New York City and you can 6 blocks from Madison Square Garden.
Right, exactly.
That's a totally different scenario.
But in
live in a
Rust
small
Belt, Johnstown, Pennsylvania,
to get
20,000
major
people.
even to get Tway Yoakam a little while back.
Yeah.
Or I'm taking Dad to see WWE.
Right.
NXT.
Yeah, we get some good acts.
There's
in
still
there.
some things that happen. Some
I
country
saw
artists.
Kelly Clarkson was Kelly Clarkson was my first concert ever because I have auditory triggers, right? We've talked about that before. But so I don't like going to concerts for a bajillion reasons. But Kelly Clarkson played when she was big, huge, 2011-ish at the Cambria County War Memorial, I think is when I went down to see them with Alita. And that was my first concert ever.
That's crazy.
And I've only ever been to 2 since. I was at Guns N' Roses in 2016. We went to Guns N' Roses in FedEx Field, right?
Yeah.
And then Tyler Childers at the Dome or whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to a lot of concerts. A lot of them were because, like as a kid, we would go to stuff, and they weren't always huge concerts.
Right. Well, you were at some intimate.
I was at some very intimate, like record release parties and stuff like that. That was a cool part of it.
Right.
We went to a Mariah Carey one,
Yeah.
Toni Braxton,
Yeah.
John Tesh, of course, we went to. But no, Toni Braxton, Mariah Carey, Tony Rich. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
So I can't even think of the song, but it was very big.
Yeah. Because that country.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows
Country
Tony
was
Rich.
right after that.
Bonnie Raitt.
Oh, wow.
Bonnie Raitt. Some other country. Amy Grant. Shania Twain.
Oh, right. I remember you saying that.
Shania Twain, we went to one of her, it was a record thing.
Now, were these people there at those record releases?
Yeah. They
That's
would perform.
insane. Yeah.
A lot of times it wouldn't be like a full concert.
Right.
It's like 3 songs or something.
Right.
And it's like at a Borders.
Right.
No, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
It's not like.
It's a small, intimate.
Right. Now, that's one kind of thing. But then I've
For the
also been
record.
to regular like concerts as well.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I got to see a lot of cool people like that, quote unquote, in concert.
Right.
Now, sometimes we did go to actual concerts. We did go to an Amy Grant concert. We did, Gloria Estefan
Oh,
was
right.
another one that we did go to her concert. It was I want to say the Maryland Theater, but I might be wrong about that.
Right.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People like that. Like,
I prefer the more intimate venues. Which is weird because think about, we've talked about this often in other settings, but SNL, that stage is a hard effing stage to capture an artist's vibe.
totally ridiculous. But I just want to end on the other point, though, about at the time, I didn't give a fuck about seeing Gloria Estefan.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was all lame to me. I didn't even pay. I looked for other stuff.
Right.
I gave a fuck about Shania Twain when I was 13.
Right.
You know what I mean? Absolutely not.
Right.
I hated country music at that point.
Right.
Because it was like, that's all we listened to growing up.
Right.
With like my grandparents. So and country wasn't cool in the mid 90s.
Well, it started to become
cool again, but there was like but all the people, I listened to rap and I listened to grunge as I was coming of age.
Right.
So those things were not cool to me.
Right.
Until I was about like 15 or so and started to get into music.
Right.
But for the middle school age.
Right.
When I'm listening to Korn.
Right.
Not.
See, and I got... One, because of my age, but two, for other factors, I got to skip the Korn era, which I'm happy with. So I skipped a lot of that music. I didn't listen heavily to like Marilyn Manson or any of those guys so I went from being an 80s baby, right, to I was an 80s hair band girl chasing Amy. Brings a picture of that girl to mind, and also in old school when what's her name, Meredith Grey, what's her real name, I never remember.
Ellen Pompeo.
Ellen Pompeo, when her character is talking about being in school and she was the girl with the jean jacket and the Marlboro Reds, that was me. Like that, I was the epitome of a 80s hairband chick.
Well, let me say this though, because I lived through that era as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I didn't come of age in that era.
Right.
Because I say you're coming of age as you're like entering into your teenage years.
Absolutely.
So when I was younger though, it was the 80s.
Right.
And everybody that I looked up to.
Uncle Kevin was my
Kevin.
age. Yeah.
Emily.
Yeah.
Like the people that
they were
hung
all
out with,
hairband people.
They were all, so I loved all those things.
Yeah.
But then literally once it became uncool, you stopped liking it.
It just became like the 80s turned off real quick.
And you stopped liking it. It became.
So like my grunge period was in high school, right? Like my junior, senior year. But by that point in time, excuse me, and I had always listened to all the music, right? So I listened to everything all the time other than country. Again, we talked about this before. So with country music, my grandmother listened to country, my mom listened to country, but it wasn't like I didn't listen to it all the time, and I fucking hated it. I absolutely despised country music when I was younger. Despised it.
Which is so weird because for both of us, because now that's that's not all I listen to, obviously. I listen to a lot more stuff than you do.
Right. You do. Your palette is way wider than mine.
Because you know what I mean? Like I still listen to
especially new, because I don't listen to newer rap or anything like that.
And I do.
It's not that I don't like it, but I just I'm very stuck in the early Lil Wayne era of hip hop. Along with like the Tupac.
My love of hip hop is extensive.
Right.
You know
that could be a whole
all different areas. That could be an episode. I used to teach a class, hip hop history, when I was to other white kids out in the country after school to try to educate them about the history of hip hop. No, they needed to know the founders. You know what I mean? Shout out KRS-One, Rakim, and Big Daddy Kane, Kool Keith.
Yes.
And so I would teach them about those guys. But regardless of any of that, so we were talking about.
I know the original Roxanne rap from beginning to end.
No, I'm with you. Your hip hop credentials are well established. But I'm just saying now, you don't keep. The only thing what I don't keep up with now is heavy music.
Yeah,
Like
I don't
I
like
very
it.
much like
I like
metal.
early heavy.
Like I love like Metallica, Slayer. You know, I love all that stuff. But that's like once you get past a certain point, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Any of the new like harder bands, I don't even know who they are.
I couldn't.
I
tell
just
you.
don't. That's
No.
one thing I don't keep up with. And I still enjoy listening to the older stuff, but it's just none of the new stuff interested me. And I know people will probably be like, "Oh, you've never listened."
Yeah, I mean, drop a suggestion because maybe you'll get it right. My sister actually dropped me a suggestion. I should have listened to it more, but I didn't. Yeah.
Well, and you know that I listen to stuff like I'm much more forgiving of things like people. Like, because with rap, people be like, I don't, you know, people like, I only like, because I don't even understand what they're saying now. But I like a lot of new rap. I like a lot of new music in other genres. So I think maybe if I found the right stuff, maybe.
There is new rap coming out again that I like. There was a period of rap music where I didn't like it all sounded cookie cutter exactly the same to me for a couple years. And I just couldn't, I mean, because I grew up listening to Wu-Tang, right? So
I think for me, the difference is I knew who to listen. It's just like with country.
Yeah.
People would say that new country sucks, but we don't listen to new country.
No,
we
don't.
listen to new country artists, but they're not on the radio.
They're not.
We know where to look. It's the same thing for me with like rap.
Like
I'm not listening to stuff on the radio.
Excuse me. That song you played for me the other day, I can't remember the artist.
Pooh Shiesty.
Yeah, Pooh Shiesty. I like that song. That's what I'm saying.
FDO, FTF, first day up is fuck the feds.
Yeah, I like that song. So yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm just not like I'm never in the mood to sit there and scan through a bunch of music to find a gem when it comes to genres that I don't listen to all the time. If you bring me a gem, fantastic. It's my. I
was gonna say how many times just to go to show you like how many times do we share new music with each other? All the time.
All the time, because you and I have very different tastes, but we also have very similar tastes at the end of the day. If you find something that you really love and you want to share it with me, chances are I really do love it.
Right. That's exactly right. And the thing is it's like, yeah, like I know if I hear like certain I know that you're not going to like it. Like if I know it's something I know you don't like, I'm not going to play that for you. But if it's something that I like that I know you'll like
Volbeat, meh.
Right, and I love that. I do like that.
You know what I mean? I don't like anthem rock.
It's like the hard rock Elvis or whatever.
Yeah, I don't like. I just don't get down for that kind of stuff. But so let's talk about. We have a whole segment coming up about the soundtracks of our life, right? So we talked about our early days and the kind of music that introduced us into the world. Excuse me. Hold on. The kind of music that introduced us into the world of music. But now, and we've talked about like coming into music as teenagers and stuff. We talked about, you know, how when we met, but we've produced a couple actual playlists or we've lived through a couple playlists and they're good. They're worthy of talking about.
I think that what's fun is because just like we already talked about, you associate you have playlists of your life, like you said, whereas you're listening to certain music during certain times of your life and you reflect about it and it brings up you taste that nostalgia or the memory that's attached to it. And sometimes songs take on different meanings in the sense of like talking about this. A good example of this is when I was when we were going through my addiction.
Yes.
And like you had certain and we very much lived like separate lives during that time. We did, but we didn't. But you know what I'm saying, though? Like
we were very much on our own paths, living together as a couple, and still trying to do co-parenting with Dakota and all that.
And so, but but songs like that were bad at the time. Just take These Eyes.
Yeah. These Eyes is special to me because I had a group of friends that carried me through your addiction at a karaoke bar.
Right. But then separately, now the song has different meaning.
We love it.
We love it.
The actual lyrics hit. like the hurting's on me. Yeah. I will never be free.
Right.
No.
Yeah, it's great. And
You took
can
a
still
vow with me and you broke it, right?
Right.
And it hurt when I was singing it at the karaoke bar, and I felt it, and that's why I became popular for singing it at the time.
Or songs that helped us through something.
Yeah.
Like Anthony.
Absolutely. Uptown by Drake.
When he died, well, the music that we played during his funeral, we've listened to 1,000 times over.
Right. So we created a CD to play at his funeral, but we copied it and gave it out to his friends.
And it was all...
They contributed to the playlist.
It was songs that he listened to with his friends, songs that he listened to with us, songs that he listened to
with
by
his
himself.
sisters. Yeah.
It was... Everybody picked a song that meant something to them with him for whatever reason.
Yes.
It didn't have, you know what I mean? Whatever your connection was.
And it was all genres.
It was all over the place. It was rock, country, rap.
Yeah.
It was, but
there's a few favorites. I mean, the obvious
what we
ones,
still listen to now, though.
Yeah. The obvious ones are Go Rest High by Vince Gill and If I Die Young by the band Perry, because those were obvious choices for a funeral.
Well, but to me, the two songs that stand out are the Drake,
Uptown,
and Fishing in the Dark.
Fishing in the Dark, yep. Because that song tends to just pop up in our lives whenever it wants to. And then for me, I was actually almost talking, I almost brought this up at work today. I can't remember. Oh, no, it was actually in my group chat. They were talking about kids, teenagers, and it just popped into my brain. And I was like, oh, save it for the episode. Anthony's ringtone to wake up in the morning was Santeria by Sublime. Mm-hmm. And for a fucking year, I had to listen to that song nonstop because he wouldn't get up for school.
Well, I'm going to sidetrack here onto another thing. I'm trying to shut up about this and keep it moving. But how about when you had a multi-disc changer?
Yes.
And you woke up to what would pop in.
Yeah.
I accidentally sometimes would leave Black Sabbath in the first album. So I would wake up to, what is this that stands before me? No.
I wish people could see that because you just did a Jack Black face totally.
But anyway.
No, I hear you, because mine in the early aughts, whenever it was just me and Dakota for a while, I woke up like that, and mine was always, fuck what I said, you don't mean shit. Oh, right.
Now. I remember you saying that before. But back to what we were talking about, the soundtracks that another one is our wedding.
Yes. And there are people like Alita, who is a loyal listener. Her mama told me a couple of years ago that she still listens to that CD in her car.
That's hilarious. But it was just a lot of good songs.
Yeah, there was so many good songs.
So, but that is another way that like people get to know you, because they're like, everybody had something on there that they liked or connected to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether or not they're an 80-year-old grandma or a kid.
Right.
There was different things on there.
Right. And so, unfortunately, one of the songs that persists on that CD, and I still have copies of the CD if we ever want to resurrect it, we'll give them out at our anniversary party.
Or if you want one, write us some.
And I'm like, this hurts my heart to say out loud, because this song is probably one of the most vocally beautiful, brilliant, dynamic songs that ever was. When a Woman Loves.
R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Here's the thing is, I don't give a shit, dude. Listen, I'm not going to stop listening to that song.
It was on our wedding CD. We can't retire it. It's forever.
Every bad human being, there's a few good things that they did. Even Hitler had a few wins. But R. Kelly, sure, he might have pissed on teenage girls. But God damn it, that song, he touched the hand of God.
And on our next episode, we're talking about capturing pedophiles. Anyways, no, so seriously, though, that CD, of course, Into the Mystic is on there. And then at our actual wedding, we had a karaoke DJ there, and I sang Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor, which was one of my original kind of really good
Karaoke,
songs.
yeah.
So yeah, that song has a very strong hold on my heart.
And it's just,
So
I mean, there's so much.
there is. And so talking about us introducing each other to music, one of I didn't introduce you to the band, but I introduced you to the compendium that was the Grateful Dead, right? And
I was just thinking about that earlier. I was like, man, I need to watch it.
yeah, and that became...
So how I got introduced to the Grateful Dead. Now, I knew the Grateful Dead, who they were.
Right.
And I knew a couple of songs. How could you not? Everybody knows Casey Jones and you know what I mean? Like,
right.
A couple of other ones that were like, because they don't have a lot of quote unquote hits.
Right.
I think I knew
like
Touch
radio
of Grey
hits.
and
Right.
Casey Jones. But yeah, so my knowledge of the Grateful Dead was, like I said, Casey Jones, Touch of Grey, and that was it.
Which I did like that song.
I mean,
VH1 played the shit out of that song.
There's nothing that I'm not gonna say anything bad about those songs. But like you
they're
said,
not representative of the Grateful
what
Dead.
the Grateful Dead is or who they are. I mean, they are, but I'm just saying, like, once you know the rest of it, they're not a good single representative of what they are.
Exactly.
But I think I got introduced to them at the right time, though, because my love of that style of music, because they very much tap into folk,
Yeah.
old-timey stuff. So that gave me a new, and they're very much music appreciation people.
Yeah, absolutely.
They love music. I mean, they love music.
Right.
And so, but regardless of any of that, the Amazon documentary, 6-part documentary, whatever, about the Grateful Dead.
Was it the Long Strange Strip one?
Yeah. It came out right at the time that I was getting clean.
Right.
And right preceding that.
Right. Probably about 6 months to a year.
No. Less than that.
Really? Do you
just
think?
a couple months.
Okay, we'll go with that. But we had listened to, so here's the thing is, for me, when I was younger, I did a lot of open mics. I probably have 1,000 or more under my belt. And one of the places that I love doing open mics was Dively's Tavern here in Johnstown. And those guys covered a lot of Grateful Dead. I was a skater for a little period of time. So that the skater culture in the 90s listened to a mixture of stuff. And part of that was the Grateful Dead kids. So I was introduced to their music early on and I didn't appreciate it then, but I started listening to it again and then introduced you to their kind of.
Well, once we watched this documentary, you were like, you got to hear this, you got to hear this, you got to hear this.
Yeah.
And then I then I absolutely fell in love with it. Then it helped save my life, got me clean.
Right.
And I've talked about that. I'm not going to go into all that right now because
Recess Kings.
Yeah, go listen to that. And because of in the interest of time, obviously.
Right.
But anyway, the Grateful Dead saved my life. And then I became a nerd about it. Like I got into all the stuff, all the things.
Right. He knows now which is pure Scott fashion. When he loves something, he immerses. So he knows scores more about it than I do at this point. I was a casual lover of most of their music. But he now.
Because it turned into, so it was one of those things. If you ask me who my favorite musical artist of all time is, that's probably going to be my answer.
Yeah, now. At this point.
And I'm just saying, like, as a total package, if I was really like having, and I mean, I could argue, 1,000 different ways.
Mine is
but
probably
I'm just saying,
still Guns N' Roses.
They immediately jumped to like the top of the list.
Absolutely.
So, because of just, I mean, and like I said, I love it because I love the appreciation of that they have for music, that songs that they brought to life, old time stuff. Like they were such a different thing than what I thought my perception of them was prior to the documentary, was because like I didn't know the music like that.
Right.
And then once I started to hear, I was like, oh my, like this is
Right.
exactly what I love.
Right. And I mean, I don't even want to run down the list, but obviously Ripple has meaning to us. And Broke Down Palace is absolutely hands down probably my favorite of their songs.
Both written by Robert Hunter in the same day. But regardless, anyway, continue.
Exactly. And so now like our event space our home is called Broke Down Palace.
Well, because to me, it also, because once you fall in love with the Grateful Dead, listen to me, now it's like, because I am a total Deadhead now.
Right.
In the same way that, like, if I ask anybody that we meet, if I see anything even remotely related to the Grateful Dead,
there's a conversation.
I immediately engage them in conversation. It's like meeting Steelers fans. Like, you know what I mean?
And you know me, I'm all about synchronicities. So Big Anthony, on the day that we procreated, the very day, he got a dancing bear on that was his birthday, August 13th. 1993. He got a tattoo of a dancing bear. He also had a samurai. He drove a samurai and it had dancing bears on it. Like everybody knew that was his because it was teal and it had the dancing bears. I actually think I wore one of his t-shirts well into our relationship. It was, no, I lied. That was our son's. Because I asked and Anth bought that at the beach. He actually got in trouble for buying it at the beach because his foster parents didn't
like the Grateful Dead.
Didn't like anything.
That's what I was going to kind of go into with was like the perception of the Grateful Dead. But what I love about my perception of the Grateful Dead now, like when you get to, you know what I mean? Like I was saying, like when you get to like live and breathe the Grateful Dead, it represents like everything that I love about life. They just loved, and say what you will about Jerry's drug issues or whatever. He still loved life, and they always took the time to get to know people, to absorb people as individuals.
There was no malicious. There was
Never.
No corporate climbing. There was no.
It sounds stupid, but
deceit.
Love.
Right. There was nothing but
it's
love.
Love.
That's exactly
and
what
not
it was.
like and just love of life and love of people as individuals, love of freedom,
right?
Love of expression, love of, you know what I mean, like
right. And the lifestyle that he lived, I can't really knock him for having an addiction because I like having gone through that, like, right. I'm not saying that it's okay to do drugs in excess. I'm not saying that's okay. What I'm saying is that we've learned over time that there have been lots of genius people have drugs as their coping mechanism. Right. He was a musical fucking genius.
And he was a good person. Nobody has anything bad to say about Jerry Garcia other than drug addiction. Use.
Right.
They'd be like, and that's just his bandmates.
Right.
Because it affected them.
Right.
His family and his bandmates are going to feel, they're the people that you're closest to are the ones that deal with your addiction.
Right.
Everybody else is just getting him.
Right. That's exactly it. They don't know it for nothing. And it's because and again, if I can't say for sure that it didn't lead to some of the most brilliant things that he produced musically.
And the bad thing, the people that say those bad things you think his bandmates didn't love him to the...
Right.
These guys were brothers. Dude.
Right.
These guys were brothers that bonded in a way that most people never get to.
They went through all of the things together, grew up together. I mean,
built
for decades, built an empire of people who just adored them.
Right.
And who...
From people from Harley Davidson, Hell's Angels.
Right.
To peace-loving hippies.
Right. To corporate America.
They touch so many different things.
Right. And you see their influence in some of the music that we love today that is cropping up on the new scene, which we'll talk about in a few.
There's very few bands that transcend time, not just with their music, but like with merch. You see kids that don't even know who the Grateful Dead is wearing like the Grateful Dead Nike stuff. Or like,
Right. I love it.
you know what I mean?
love it.
Like,
The dancing bears are like the most
it's
iconic.
iconic.
Right.
It's one of the greatest branding things that there has ever been in
Absolutely.
any field. It's like Coca-Cola.
Absolutely.
It's like Coca-Cola.
Hold on. Do you want to grab Sal? She's standing there in the rain. I need to look at my notes real quick anyway. Hey, dog. See you soon.
Come on, Bo. Come on.
She wants you to pick her up whenever it's going.
She's fully capable.
I know. And she's already had 2 now, so she's good.
All right. Let's get down.
All right. So okay. I'll hit on that in a minute. All right, so we talked about the Grateful Dead documentary, but the other documentary that has played heavily into our life in the last couple of years is
the Ken Burns country music documentary, which might be the greatest documentary I've ever watched in my entire life. It's religious.
It is. It was
It's a spiritual experience. I want to go watch it right now. But it's that good. It feels like church when you're watching. You feel like you're it's like it is a spiritual experience.
Yeah, it really
because
is.
you connect to the people. You connect to something old timey, man.
Yeah, and to get that like behind the scenes peek. That's one of the things that I love about this documentary. I cried with people. I fell in love with artists even more, knowing more of their backstory, knowing how hard Dolly Parton fought to get out of that contract with Porter Wagoner. Like
working 9 to 5.
God dang it. I already loved her entire soul, but that just made me just amplify it even more.
Or the stories of the connections that change total history.
Right, like a barber.
Yeah, the barber for the the barber was the Everly Brothers' dad.
Right.
And he met those songwriters just cutting their hair, and they had struck out like 20 times. Both of them, both the Everly Brothers and the writing duo.
Right.
They went on to become one of the greatest writing duos of ever time. And the Everly Brothers are still like one of the greatest selling artists.
Right. It's insane. Those little nuggets that you just get, like you said, it's nostalgia tastes good, right? It's just, it feels so good. It feels so homey. It feels like a time when it was really just about the music.
If you even remotely like country music and are interested in any way, and you've not watched that documentary, go watch all 12 hours.
What are you waiting
It's
for?
long. It's 8 parts
long.
or 10 parts or something. Go watch it. It's amazing. It's filmmaking at its finest.
So just a couple little nuggies before we start wrapping it up. So talking about or bringing it full circle back to music as a language and how you can use it to communicate, maybe even spiritually. One of my favorite new artists, and they're not new because they've been around for a minute, but I only discovered them about 1.5 to 2 years ago, is the Red Clay Strays. And so last May-ish, I heard, it was probably last April, I heard I'm Still Fine for the first time. And that song does something to me, but I'm just throwing out a little cautionary tale to everyone. I was singing that the one day and I sang the lyrics, "Oh, but Father, I'm afraid you picked the wrong one," with my full chest. And I was singing it to God. And I was singing it as a challenge. And God turned around and said, "Bet, bitch." So more to come on that, but just don't do that. Don't challenge God with your whole chest through a song lyric, because trust and believe that music moves emotions, and emotions carry weight that gets to where they need to go. That's all. But so that was a weird one. I do want to talk about a more fun little tidbit in music. This is a whole genre that I could go down, because when I was in high school, I produced musicals. So I love musicals. Dakota was in the musicals. So we were musical theater parents for a couple years. I mean, musicals, right? I don't know if you like them. You probably don't.
I do not like musicals. I mean, I enjoy them, watching them live, but I'm not a guy that's going to be, I'm not running around singing Nat King Cole. Well, no, what's the name? What's the one where there's Fiddler on the Roof? I don't know why. Maybe they in that Cole, I guess.
So I've seen almost all the musicals, but the only one I've ever seen on Broadway, it was Aladdin. And it was, oh my God, it was gorgeous. It was a whole, I want to see more. But I'm only bringing that up because, again, like in researching things, I was actually researching conspiracy theories for something else, and looking for things in history that were sensational that became something that are like mainstream now that we just don't really think about. Right. So this little nugget came into play, which was the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. So the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas was a Dolly Parton movie at some point. Dolly Parton, Burt Reynolds.
Oh, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. He was the cop in the movie or whatever, the sheriff. Yes. And they made a Broadway musical out of it. And I get a giggle out of it because we were playing, like, New Year's Eve one year, we were playing Pictionary, and that was one of the things that I had to draw in front of Susie's entire family, and I didn't know what it was.
Well, first off, Texas is what you draw first,
right?
And then you draw a woman with big boobs and a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I mean,
do this.
You keep pointing at it. So anyways, long story short, that is actually a true story. So there was really a gentleman. He was a news reporter, and there was a whorehouse being run in Texas. It was called the Chicken Ranch. Everybody knew about it because there were rules. And they were clean and they were orderly and there was no drug activity. And you know what I mean? Like, they were just there to do business.
Just there to be whores.
And
just some whoring.
There was nobody that was like mad about it. Like, everybody knew it existed. The cops overlooked it, which is where Burt Reynolds comes in the movie. Dolly's the madam that runs the place. And
I mean, I think that's how most whorehouses were run back in the days. Hush, hush.
Well, I don't know, because when I think of them, the first thing that comes to mind for me is like the saloon days when there was brothels upstairs and they were rowdy.
Well, saloons were rowdy.
But then I also fast forward to when I first discovered the internet and the Bunny Ranch. I love those bitches. I watched their TV show on Skinamax or whatever, HBO.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to learn how all that worked. Like, I would never do it, but I want to know how everything works. So I wanted to know how the Bunny Ranch worked. But anyways, I digress. So that was just a fun fact that I pulled out of nowhere because it just felt like it comes into play. It does.
You don't even realize that movies like The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas are based on a true story.
And a Broadway musical came out of it too.
Right. Insane. Well, that's what I mean.
So one thing that we didn't talk about that I do want to bring up real quickly, it wasn't on the agenda, but it's just worth throwing randos out here at the end. So, like, you and I are both also musically inclined, and we've both been DJs.
I'm not musically inclined.
You play guitar.
Not well.
better than I can, and I can read music and play instruments.
Right, but the reason that I stopped and I don't is because I'm not musically inclined and I struggled.
Right, but you're not horrible at it. You can play tunes.
I mean,
I miss Josh Minnick. Josh Minnick, I miss you around a campfire.
But regardless of any of that.
But you have...
But you're musically inclined.
But you've DJ'd.
I have good taste.
You do have good taste in music.
Impeccable taste.
Impeccable taste in music.
But...
For the genres that I like. For the ones I don't like, I don't fucking know.
No, I do. For those too.
I would have to believe you. But yeah, so I played instruments when I was younger. I played the violin, the cello, the flute, and in high school I played the drums.
And you have an ear. You can hear it.
Yeah.
I can't do any of that.
Yeah.
I can't carry a tune in a bucket.
Which is why we are actually fun karaoke DJs, because we podcast. We're both comfortable in a mic.
I sing karaoke.
We both know music.
But I'm not good at it.
Right. So what we haven't talked about is our new favorites. Like, who are we listening to right now?
Right now?
Right. I tend to get stuck in music loops. I have a fixation for music. And so until another event in my life changes my music scope somewhere else, I'm stuck in this loop that I'm in, and I kind of like it. I have a country playlist that's hasn't changed in a year or 2 years.
I mean, you've added a couple in there.
Yeah, well, because Taylor McCall.
Yeah, we discovered that just playing on YouTube.
Rolling Stoned again.
Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't been listening to really too much, other than like you said, just.
I know, like
comedy has sort of taken a little bit of the music.
Right, it's overtaken. We still listen. We're stuck in our old playlist when we travel right now. So what I'm looking for from our listeners is like given what we've talked about, like we listen to a gambit of music. What are some of your favorite artists that aren't being played on the radio? You're picking them up on YouTube. You're picking them up on socials. You're picking them up on Sirius, but they're not mainstream playlist music.
Let us know who they are. We'll give them a listen.
But for me, especially in the country genre or blues, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But also new rap, hip hop that is blending like that old genre.
I get enough of that.
I know you do. I know you do, but your taste is slightly different.
Well, no, I'm saying that with that, so many people send me new rap stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
it's like
you got bros though. I don't talk to people outside of like social media. You have friends. I don't really fool with people like that. I have group chats that are kind of all over the place. So I do want to talk about AI music for a second, just a second, because
you know how I feel.
I know everybody has opinions about AI. I am going to call out that. You get your year-end review or whatever. I was in like the first top 10% of global early adopters for ChatGPT, meaning that I was the first 10% of all users to ever use ChatGPT. I was in the first 10% globally. And I use ChatGPT today more than 88% of all other users.
Yeah, I believe that.
So in that case, clearly I'm pro, but I'm also an advanced logical thinker and have discernment. So I'm not a risk as somebody who uses AI.
Well, I'm not pro or anti. It depends on what you're doing and what you're using it for. I don't want my artists using AI to create music. When I go see their music, I don't want it to be AI. But if you're making a song for a commercial about sheets, I don't give a shit.
Right, exactly.
It doesn't mean anything to me. And here's another note on AI, and this is partially with songs, but like also like flyers. I see this all the time, and this is my opinion on it, is because people say it all the time, about like music flyers, comedy flyers. Don't use AI. Get an art. Who was hiring all these artists to do event flyers before?
It was fucking copy and paste since I've been able to use a computer.
That's what I'm saying. Where is a broke musician gonna get money to pay an artist to design a flyer?
Right. Exactly.
Like for a show at Bucky's Bar.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like where they're going to make $30.
Right.
Like, I mean, it just doesn't.
So ridiculous.
I get it. Like, I understand the argument. Like, but I think AI's not going anywhere, and I think there's a place for both. That's all.
Right. Before Microsoft had like the earliest release of Microsoft, you could still create flyers in a Word document, and that's what many of us were doing for whatever we were doing flyers for. And I was in bands during those days. Hard Cider. I still have a flyer that they created.
Printed it up, made 100 copies.
Yeah, that's what we did in high school.
Yeah.
Like when we had Battle of the Bands in high school, we created our tickets on one sheet on a computer with a Word document and then used cardstock to make our tickets. Like nobody was ever hiring. We hired printers to do like tickets for the musical. But we still had to design it, and I did all of that in Word.
It's a mood argument.
It's such a mood argument, but I only bring it up because, full disclosure, Scott, we've talked about this before. Scott wrote the lyrics for our podcast because they are very specific to us and Pennsylvania, really. But I used AI to generate the singing because right now we've got 12 listeners. I'm not going to pay.
And the lyrics are partially AI generated. Just meaning because I just took the outline and switched up stuff and made it.
Right. Now, I think the one that our latest release is mostly you.
No, it's not. That's just it.
Okay. Well, regardless.
That's how good it is.
Regardless of all of that, I say that because when our podcast catches fire at some point, we will hire a real artist to sing the theme song.
Right. When I have money to pay an artist to sing a theme song, I will.
Exactly.
Until then, I'll spend the $5 on whatever that is you use.
Oh, I bought 1,500 credits a year ago, and I still.
But I'm just saying, you know what I mean.
I still have them.
I'm just saying, like,
right, exactly. But also because I just wanted to give a shout out to whoever created that damn AI remix of "Move Bitch," because ChatGPT asked me when I was outlining this episode, what is one song that really gets you to your core in a good mood? And I was like, that's changed over the years. Cause like, remember for a minute, it was like, Hallelujah. Oh, you, no. Not the Hallelujah.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember who does it. Fall Out Boy? Maybe. But anyways, regardless of that, I don't know who sings it. But right now, it's the AI remix of Move Bitch, Get Out the Way. That song gets me... I could be crying puddles over a dog dying in the middle of the road in front of me, and if Scott would turn that song on, I would immediately, like, flip a switch. I can't not get into a mood when I hear that song. So thank you, Big Bubskis, for introducing me to that AI remix. Also, I've also been fooled by AI mixes where I thought a real artist released a song collaboration and they fucking didn't.
People trick you.
So fuck you, people that are tricking me. But Scott has a good ear for the AI voices, so he knew right away it wasn't them.
Oh, I knew instantly.
That said,
they call me the Michael Jordan of sniffing out AI voices.
For the Wheel of Wisdom today.
Oh, the old wheel.
We're going to keep it in this music thread.
The old wheel. Death.
And so I already answered a song that changes my mood instantly. That's right now in the current state of affairs. It's Move Bitch, the AI version. So what's yours?
FDO, Pooh Shiesty.
FDO, Pooh Shiesty. No discredit to the feds.
Fuck the feds. FTF.
All right. So, song that feels like home.
Tyler Childers, either like Feathered Indians or Lady Man, anything from like the Purgatory album.
Right.
You know.
So saying Tyler Childers actually throws a monkey wrench in my plan because my main, you know this about me, I don't know why, but Yellow Ledbetter is my song. That's my song that feels like home to me. But I could also make an argument that Lately Shake the Frost is also that song for me.
I can name 100 songs.
Right. Right.
That's
but for me, it's always Yellow Ledbetter. That the chords and the way that song is arranged, regardless of the nonsensical lyrics, it just the melody of that song does something to me. And it almost evens me out. It doesn't pull me down into a bad mood and it doesn't hype me up into a good mood. It just mellows me the fuck out.
Yeah, that song, I mean, I like it, but I feel like
I've probably overplayed it.
No, I don't think you've overplayed it, but it gets overplayed.
I do get mad when somebody tries to do that fun shit at karaoke.
Overplayed.
If you try to do it at karaoke, you better goddamn hit that song because I'll be mad, and especially if I'm judging you in a karaoke contest. All right, so one more question on the Wheel of Wisdom. Underrated artist.
Like of all time? Like anywhere or just
for
right
you?
Now? I mean, for me, underrated artist, I would say Vincent Neil Emerson.
I knew you were going to pick that guy.
Because he is an absolute pickin' fucking fool. He's a great songwriter, and yet nobody... I mean, country people like me that are in the know.
Right.
But like outside of that, I mean, he's doing good. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, he's like one of those, ones, like.
I feel you.
He's underrated. His ability as a songwriter, a player, and a singer. I mean, he's good.
So mine might annoy you a little bit, but you'll probably. So it's not even lately. It's just. And not even the radio stuff, I'll say, but the live performances I've seen, Jessie Murph.
Yeah, I mean, she's okay. I
know, you just are not a fan of her.
There's something about when females
do that
thing with their voice.
I know. I know.
To me, it just takes away from it. I don't understand.
I feel you.
I get doing it once in a while, but there's some people that make it like their thing.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is some of the live performances I've seen, she's fallen in and out of that and done a more storytelling type vibe. So there's something about her that I just absolutely adore. Like, I am a champion for Jessie Murph. I'm like one of her fans. I don't know if she's big in any world, but she's big on TikTok, so I see her all the time. All right, so final closing line, I think, or to wrap up the show, to summarize, is if you want to understand someone, ask them what they're listening to.
Yeah, it's like, to quote the movie, You've Got Mail, Greg Kinnear has he's got a great quote in there where he's saying some things that are very good. Now, Greg Kinnear has a quote in there where he says he quotes another person, and he says, when he's writing the article, he says, it goes back to the great whatever, you are what you read. And much than it is that way with what you read, you very much are. You are what you listen to.
Right. So if you don't really like music, I don't trust you.
But those people Dan Soder does a whole bit about people that don't like music. It's like, you ever met these people? They're like, I don't like music. Like what? Like country? No, I don't like music. It's like, fun.
Yeah, no, thank you. All right, so what do you got coming up over the next couple weeks? Anything that before May 1st?
Buc-ee's.
Oh,
It's Friday.
Buc-ee's out in the middle of nowhere. We love the Buc-ee's.
Osceola Mills. That ain't the middle of nowhere. I'm going to the Scotchman and get me a burger. Get some of them buffalo chicken fries.
Oh my God. Can I just say,
They were good. I'm getting them. They're like $4.
I wouldn't even, yeah, like I was not expecting them to be, because it's bar food, right? Their fries were so perfectly cooked.
They're taking their time in the back there in that little room.
And the sauces. So it's literally just a pile of fries with chicken tenders on top with buffalo wing sauce
But their
and
chicken
ranch.
was good. Their whatever chicken things.
All of it. The whole package.
But like, yeah, the
was
fries
just
were good. It was because they were crispy.
divine.
Yeah.
And for the price, like I saw one plate of them and I was like, I need those.
Yeah.
So,
Buc-ee's is.
Yeah, shout out to whatever's going on in the middle of
Buc-ee's,
nowhere.
The Scotchman. It's also called Buc-ee, the Scotchman, a.k.a.
Ooh,
Buc-ee's.
and I saw this morning.
And we're going to be at the karaoke thing Saturday.
Yeah, well, we covered that earlier. Yeah.
No, I know, but I wanted to call it out.
Yeah, we're
trying
going to be.
promote it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to clip it out from the earlier.
Right, no,
so,
I get it. But
for sure. So Friday night at Buc-ee's in Osceola Mills, they actually made a drink for the show. It is the rainbow. It looks amazing. It's got colored rainbow flavors.
Stuff in it.
It's got. I don't want to talk about liquors on the show. I guess I don't know if. Yeah, I guess we can. But anyways, it looks gorgeous.
It's beautiful. It's called the Rainbow.
Yeah, and they created it just
might
for
turn
the
you
show.
gay, but just for the night.
Just for the night. State College is 20 miles that way if you need to figure it out. And then Harrigan's on Saturday for the karaoke contest. I'm so excited about that.
Cash prizes.
Cash prizes, guys.
Mm.
All right. We will see you in May 1st for May flowers. We're experiencing April showers right now as we record. So we'll see you May 1st for May flowers. And if nobody's told you today,
stay trashy.
Stay trashy, bitches.
Eat biscuits.
Gilded trash where the wild things roam. Comedy legends, we bring it home. Haunted highways, midnight stash. Riding shotgun, kicking ass. Whisper, swirl, mysteries in sight. Who knows where we end up tonight? The beer ice cold and the music's good. Some old dive bar out there in them woods. Gas station snacks, campfire glow. Every Rutter's employee already knows. Egg rolls and lemon heads, fried pickles galore. Can't ever leave without buying the Star. Gilded trash.